to this channel where we spread love and positive vibes. And I want to start by thanking our new subscribers and our returning subscribers. We really appreciate you, we value you, the keyboard reactors and those that like our videos. We don't take it for granted. And kindly guys, like the video so that it can be recommended by YouTube. Now today we are going to talk about several things. We have had these cases of people being deported from United States of America to the Arab. And we have seen so many countries having these people who are being deported. Jamaica being one of them, and Kenya also being one of them. So in this video, we are going to look at a man who is a traitor of those that are living in United States of America, are doing their jobs, and they have not yet been caught by the government of US, but this man reports them so that he can be given some money, which is so weird and so bad. And therefore I'm going to highlight him because I also saw in Jamaica somebody saying that somebody reported him so that he can be deported. It has become like the Africans and the black people, we don't value each other, we don't support each other, we cannot even hide each other from such a thing. And therefore we have Africans reporting each other so that the other Africans, their fellow Africans, can be deported. And I saw something like that in Jamaica, though it was not very clear whether truly this guy was reported by someone from Jamaica. There is also this guy who was deported from US and yet he had a green card. This guy talks about how he was mistreated in the United States of America with an employee who could not pay him. And when he decided to take this person to court, he hired a lawyer to represent him and later declared that this lawyer is corrupt and the judge is corrupt, and therefore he sacked the lawyer, represented himself and lost the case and was given, or rather he was, the green card was taken away from him and he was deported back to Jamaica. People actually responded very differently in the comment section. Some were sympathizing with this guy, but others were saying he brought this to himself. Because they were saying, instead of the guy being polite, being humble, he started abusing the person who had employed him, and he went ahead to court to actually be very arrogant and very stubborn. I'm not the one who is saying, it is the people who are saying in the comment section. And maybe I can go through some of the comments in the comment section so that you can feel, or rather you can hear, how people felt about this guy. So there was this person who said, regarding the first guy who was telling his story about being deported, nobody conspired against him. So it is this guy who was actually talking about people conspired against him so that he can be deported. And therefore this one, who is Andrew Damak, is saying nobody conspired against him in my opinion. As much as America is racist and xenophobic, I do believe this man causes his own demise. He said his employer refused to pay him. So that is what the guy had said. So instead of hiring a lawyer or reporting his employer to the labor department or some local agency in the state, he verbally abused them and threatened them. So he threatened the employer and actually abused them. That's why he got arrested. Then he eventually fired his legal counsel and told the judge he was corrupt and proceeded to represent himself. This man couldn't control his emotions and he came across ignorant and aggressive. Why did he think the Jamaican consultant could have helped him? And why does he think going up to the embassy to protest is going to yield any result? Too many Jamaicans, especially the men, have zero emotional intelligence. know the one who's saying, and that is what led many of them into trouble. Had he humbled himself and gone through the proper channels, he wouldn't have gotten his green card. I agree 100% with everything the last person, the woman, said. I don't understand why anyone would be celebrating that their fellow countryman was deported. So this is a reaction from someone who said that, I don't know how true this is, but he says that this man brought this to himself because he abused the employer and actually threatened him, and he went ahead to accuse the judge and the lawyer that they are corrupt. And this one, who is Joa Gordon, says, I'm sure I've heard this man's story before. He was deported before Trump. So he was deported, I think, some years back. I believe this man caused his deportation with his ignorance and arrogance. These are people actually responding to the deportation of this man. And people says to that comment, I was just saying that too. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Him even sounds ignorant. Him same one. Yes, got you right. Me too had him before. So it is people supporting the comment that I've just read. Then Stewart says, bro, you should not have pushed it. You should have, stand down. Then this one says, then if you call the judge corrupt, you expect justice. So they are actually thinking that this man brought this deportation to himself. This man doesn't have a legal status. He made an application and is waiting for consideration, and he got into trouble, then got caught up in dragnet. Then this one says, then no, this is Jamaican patois, then no fight, keep quiet, and just get a lawyer to defend them. That is America, not Jamaica. Ignorance is a hell of a thing. I don't know what happened to this man, and I cannot judge him, because sometimes people are depressed, people are stressed, people have gone through a lot in life, and you cannot just judge a person by a one-case scenario. And therefore, this guy, maybe he was bitter about this employer who was not paying him. And these guys are not talking about the person who was not paying him. They are saying how he would have handled the case, which somehow I agree. But on the other hand, when somebody has not paid you your salary, of course you are not normal. You are bitter, you are angry, you are annoyed, and therefore your response might be influenced by the anger and the bitterness. So this one says, wishing that man the best. I like his spirit. So unfortunate, justice for you, Sam, bless. So this one is actually encouraging the man and sympathizing with him for what he went through in the United States of America. You can imagine an employee has not paid you, an employer has not paid you. Then when you ask for your money, you are kept under arrest, and after that, your green card is taken away and you are deported back to your country. It's not fair, though people are saying he would have acted in a different way. It doesn't sound fair to the man, even though he reacted the way he reacted. Then this one says, I love what this young lady is saying. She speaks the real thing. Hello, Damian. So, there is a mixture reaction about this guy who was deported, and yet he had a green card because he reported his employer for not paying him. And according to the people in the comment section, it's like he had argued with this employer. Of course, you are going to argue with the person who is not paying you rent. Who is not paying you salary, and you have worked for that salary. So one of the things that influenced the anger of this man is maybe not being paid his salary, and he could not take it anymore. And therefore, we really pity him, and we hope justice actually happens to him, because it's very, very unfair. Let us go to this man who decides that he's going to report others who are hiding in the United States of America so that he can be given money, and he exposes them so that he can be deported. This is a Kenyan citizen, and his name is George I.Q. Watson. I'm sure he has the African names, but he has decided to adopt the white man names, because there is nobody in Africa who is called George Watson. Here in Africa, we have our African names, and this guy looks like he's actually seeking the head because he wants to be a white man by the name and by the actions. He's behaving like those people who are selling the slaves to the white people back then. Africans, we are our own enemies. I don't understand what this guy will gain. Even if he's being paid, that money will not keep him for life. And it is money he acquires by making others cry, by making others suffer. That kind of money is not blessed. It is like the money that Judas paid to betray Jesus. And Judas finally killed himself. And therefore, George Watson, whatever his name is doing the same thing to his fellow Kenyans. He has made many Kenyans to suffer. And by the way, I will put a clip here of this guy boasting. He actually calls himself ICE. ICE are the people who are actually doing the deportation in the United States of America. And this is a group of people that were appointed and set aside by Trump so that they can handle the deportation cases. And therefore, this guy calls himself ICE, meaning that he's one of the people who are actually causing other people to be deported. Maybe first you listen to him, then I'll come back. Some places he's speaking in Kiswahili. I don't know whether I'll be able to interpret, but let us hear the video first.
Hey, watu wa TikTok, mumefikiwo. It's very hard to believe, but evidently, there are some people who don't know George NGA. And so therefore, this is your opportunity to get to know me. I cannot believe that there are some people who don't know the depth of my evil. It's very hard to believe it. Most of you know me from Twitter, X. It's George IQ Watson. My name these days I have changed it to from George Watson to ICE Watson. ICE Watson. Wink wink. Anyway, so fanyeni hivi watu wa TikTok. Inaonekana nyinyi ni wageni kwangu. Fanyeni hivi, mjiandikishe kwa list pahali. Mjiandikishe majina yenu kwa list. Tuone hiyo list itatosha nini. Kama inaweza tosha room moja ya conference, tutawaweka kwa conference. Kama inaweza tosha stadium, tutawaweka kwa stadium. And then I will show up. And all those little insults that you're so new to me, that you can insult me. That's how delusional you fuckers are. That you think those little insults are going to do anything to this guy here. This one here. This one here. Those little petty, useless, worthless insults. So, fanyeni hivi, mjiandikishe, tuone hiyo list iko na watu wangapi, and then we decide which kind of venue that you can fit in. If it's like a big stadium, we put you in a big stadium. Then I come in there and I introduce myself. More importantly, introduce you to my evil. Inaonekana hapo ndio kuna ka disconnect kidogo.
Guys, you have heard about this man. Actually, he boasts a lot. And he's calling himself in Twitter, ICE. He says that he will call people on a stadium so that he can introduce himself to people. He's full of arrogance. He's full of pride. He's full of himself. And according to the information I gathered, the people who are reporting others for deportation are being paid $750. That is roughly about 75,000 Kenyan shillings. That is not a lot of money to betray a brother or a sister. And this guy is doing exactly that. He's being given this money for every deportee he presents to the ICE group. And therefore, it is said he has caused a lot of Kenyans to be deported. And he's seen in one of his videos, he's seen boasting, and actually I put the video there. You'll hear him, the way he's boasting, the way he's arrogant, the way he's full of himself, and yet he's eating money that is full of tears of people crying after deportation. Imagine he boasts that he can call people in a stadium, I have said that, Ari, to introduce himself. So bitter, he's very bitter, and I wonder whether the money he's getting is actually helping him, because this kind of arrogance, you cannot go far with it. There is this other gentleman that I'm going to put here in the video, who is actually the CEO of those people who are in the ICE. I've told you again that ICE, I-C-E, is a group of people that were appointed by Donald Trump so that they can handle all the deportation cases. So this man is their leader, and this man is the one that is causing a lot of cry to people because of the deportation. So have a look at him, then I'll come back. So guys, you have seen the CEO of those who are being deported, those that are being deported everywhere in the world. They are actually responsible for deporting everyone. And it is so sad that we can see that some of the Africans are participating in this. Actually, the guy whom I had introduced to you earlier, who is actually a traitor to those people that are living in US, and they don't have the papers, but they have managed to hide themselves so that they can earn a living, and even if they are to come back home, they come with something. So this guy who is reporting them, whom I have called George I.Q. Watson, and who calls himself ICE in Twitter, he was seen in one of the vehicle shows looking for a vehicle to purchase after earning a lot of money from people that have been deported. So let us take a look at him, and then I'll come back. It is very sad to enjoy money that is earned through people's tears. Myself, I don't believe in that. It is so sad, so bad. And this man is like a beast. He's not a human being. He repeats the history of the slaves that were being sold by their fellow Africans. This man is about 50 and 60 plus years, and instead of aging gracefully, waiting for his retirement years, he is actually betraying others so that they can be deported. And I understand that this guy was also very bad, because he was actually beating the wife, and the wife managed to go to US, and he was punishing him and beating her so severely until people are almost reporting him, but they could not report him because of the mercy, and yet he comes from the same place as the people who are witnessing the beatings. Finally, he actually made the wife to come back to Kenya and refused to support them. He's a narcissist, a very bad man. Let us keep that aside and see how can the government of Jamaica and the government of Kenya actually assist those that are being deported to settle. There are so many suggestions that have been highlighted by people in the social media that can actually make these people settle and live good lives, and not even bother to look for a way to return back to the United States of America. One of the ways the government of Jamaica can actually create employment. I understand the Prime Minister of Jamaica saying that there are so many jobs for the skilled laborers. Some of these people that are coming from United States of America are actually skilled laborers. So they can be incorporated into the jobs that the Prime Minister was talking about so that they can feel at home and feel settled. The other way the government can do, there are so many people who are coming to Jamaica and starting businesses, and yet they are not Jamaicans. If the government can support its people, make it easy for them to start businesses, make it easy for them to settle, make it easy for them to bank. Because I saw one person complaining that he was sending money to Jamaica in a bank, in a certain bank, and then to actually invest using that money, it was a hassle. He was supposed to produce so many papers so that he can be able to invest. And he decided to invest in diaspora where he is. So the government of Jamaica can make it easy for the people that are coming with money from diaspora to invest in Jamaica, because that way they are going to uplift the economy of Jamaica, they are going to create employment, because of course they are going to employ people, and that will make Jamaica to move forward. They can also be assisted. The way the Chinese, the way the other groups that come to Jamaica are assisted to be given tenders, to be given projects, so that they can be able to run some of the projects and some of the tenders so that they can be able to settle quickly in Jamaica. That way, the people that are being deported will feel at home, will feel accommodated, will feel appreciated, will feel loved, and they're going to settle very quickly. Remember that most of us, Africans, and even Jamaicans, consider being removed from United States of America as a very bad thing. Every person I've seen who have come from US and has been deported, they feel unwanted, they feel unworthy. But I want to talk to them today. For everything that happens in life, God has a purpose concerning you. Do not feel sad that you have been deported. Do not feel rejected. Do not feel hopeless. Just know that maybe God is using that situation to uplift you to the next level, to take you to the next level. Just take heart, be positive, like I said in the other video, and look for a way to start life again. Life is full of surprises, and those surprises can happen anywhere in the world. They can happen in Jamaica, they can happen in the United States of America, they can happen anywhere. And people can prosper anywhere. You can prosper in Jamaica, you can prosper in US, you can prosper in Kenya, you can prosper anywhere. Because we read the Bible, as the Egyptians were suffering, the people of Israel were prospering in those harsh conditions. Because God is not a God of seasons, He's not a God of the status of men. He's a God who transforms people's lives and makes a way where there is no way. I hope that you're going to settle quickly, and the government is going to assist people to settle quickly so that they can feel at home. Here in Kenya, I'm so sad to say that I don't even know how these people will be handled. Because one, already we are going through a lot as a country in terms of economy, in terms of so many things that are happening in the nation that we don't know where to start or where to begin. But I'm sure if the government is serious about these people, they can actually create an atmosphere, just like I have said in Jamaica, for these people to come here at home, start their businesses, get settled, and feel loved by the people and the government. We have to learn to accommodate our own people. We have to learn to welcome our own people. We have to learn to love one another. And while loving one another is actually holding each other's hands in times of predicaments, in times of challenges. We tell people, this is not the end. This is not the death. It is the beginning of a new chapter. God is opening for you a new chapter to start life again and move forward. We have to trust in God. We have to have faith in God. That the God who took you to the United States of America, the God who have allowed you to come back to Jamaica or Kenya, He is able to take you to the next level. He is able to uplift you. He is able to transform you to be the best person you have never thought about. God can make prosperity anywhere. We learn about Abraham and Lot. Lot chose the best of land to settle, where Abraham chose the mountains where nothing could grow. But God blessed Abraham in those mountains. So you don't know where your blessings are. Maybe your blessings are in Jamaica. Maybe your blessings are in Kenya. So just come, be positive, and try to settle once again. And of course, you call upon God because He's not limited to anything. And He's going to make you rise up again and celebrate once again your life. Thank you so much once again for listening to me. See you during the next video. Bye-bye and God bless.